Hey YouTube, I'm doing a bit of a trade up Tuesday thing, so this guitar is up for trade. I'll take cash for it instead though, but it'd be nice to swap it for something we try to kind of swap up, see what I end up with. So this is an Encore Strat. Encore didn't always make fantastic guitars, but they did make fantastic guitars. This is one of the good ones. I don't think that's... Sorry. But turn that off as well so I don't get beeped on that. Yeah, so try to be quick. Try to make it sound not confusing. So basically the guitar itself is in very good condition. I've done a little bit of fretwork to polish the frets. It didn't really need that much. It was pretty good. And it's, as I said, it's in very good condition. It does have a sticker on the back which I'm about to take off, but I'll be able to take it off using lighter fluid so it doesn't leave any sort of any residue in it. You'll never know. There were stickers on the front of this, but you would never know, even with a microscope, that there was anything on. Yeah, so playing fantastic, decent guitar, got some silly stuff in it. So just it's a Strat, so bridge pickup. No fancy stuff going on, just playing through that amp straight into the amp and the mic's over there. So no processing or cheating involved. Bridge, version 2. Version 3. Version 4. Version 5. So just a normal Strat. The tone control now, instead of only controlling one pickup, does the whole guitar, so it works on the neck pickup, and it works on the bridge pickup, it works on all the pickups. Probably didn't need to show you that. The other tone control is now a master high pass filter though, which is a bit different. Basically, it's like a tone control, apart from it takes away the bass instead of taking away the treble. So if you really wanted the neck pickup to sound like the bridge pickup, then you can use this knob. And if because you're taking away all the bass with that one, and then with the normal tone control you're taking away all the treble, you end up turning the guitar off if you've got them both off. Yeah, so don't do that. But so much fiddling about to be done with that. Next, if you look at the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed that there's a mini switch here, and there's also an extra coil being added to this pickup. I did a video called it the COILADDER because it adds a coil in, and plus it's like a snake, which I like. So that's controlled by this mini switch. So when you're in the middle, it's just a Strat. This extra thing's not doing anything. When you push it forwards, it turns all the 5 sounds you get into hum cancelling sounds. So if I put on, there's 2 reasons for this. One, it gives you a slightly different sound. So there's the bridge pickup on its own. There is hum cancelling. But the big difference comes from if you've got like a distortion pedal on. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Oh, maybe if I point it, yeah. Right, so you can hear there's buzz, which happens when, if you know anything about single coil pickups, they all buzz when you get tons of distortion on, right? If I turn on the extra coil, the buzz goes away. So it does that if you're having problems with interference as well, but it also makes a kind of different sound. Not so much on this pickup when you're on the bridge pickup because they're quite close together, but if you go to the neck pickup, which is this one, it means you're getting 2 quite far apart, so it makes quite different sounds. That's the neck. That is hum cancelling, but it's quite a different sound as well. So there's 5. You can have like these 3 pickups on and all this. There's 5 sounds in there. If you push the switch the other way to the back position, it puts it in as a humbucker, so you get 5 different humbucker sounds. So this is a bridge single coil, and this is bridge humbucker, which is much more noticeable when you've got gain on. And then all of them, and then you can fiddle with the 2 tone controls. Yeah, so that I managed to do that relatively quickly, and I hope it's not sounding that complicated. It's not that complicated. I don't know why no one's ever done it before. I kind of invented this, I think. Well, I invented it. Whether someone's invented it before and I've not seen it, that's possible. I'll give you that. So, yeah, so basically, mini switch in the middle, it's a strat. Mini switch at the front, it's a strat, but all the sounds are hum cancelling. Mini switch at the back, it's a strat, but all the sounds are humbuckers. As well as that, just because I can, so that's 15 sounds you're getting out of this. The high pass tone circuit in the middle is also a push-pull pot. So what that does is it reverses the phase of the added coil. So it doesn't do anything when you're in strat mode, but if you're in the hum cancelling mode, you've got, well, this is the neck position. And if you phase it, you get a whole multitude of very thin sounds, which might sound very good if you're doing, like, I use a loop pedal quite a lot. You can there's sort of acousticy sounds to be had. In there, also it's meant for sort of funk. So it does that, and then that's out of phase, but in the part in hum cancelling mode, you can also go out of phase humbucker mode, which are possibly even thinner. And then depending where you go, it's very thin there. But that's really useful for my acoustic, making a sort of a pseudo acoustic sound. You want to strum it. Obviously the two tones are working for all of this as well. So if I go to the neck pickup just before I have a wee jam, I'll show you all what you can do. So I'll give you the 5 sounds that are available just using the neck pickup, where you've got the 5-way selector, because in all positions the 5-way selector chooses between these 3 pickups the way a strat would. Yeah, so here we go, neck on its own, just boring strat. Then we've got neck hum cancelling. And then we've got neck hum cancelling out of phase. And then we've got neck humbucking. And then we've got neck humbucking out of phase. It's quite easy to ignore this. I mean, if you don't want the phase sounds, just ignore it. For me, it was because of the way this was wired up. I had my 15 sound switch. Everything's fantastic. And then I started thinking, how many, by adding in an extra switch, how many extra sounds did I get? 10? So that makes it 25 sounds guitar, so might as well. But my main aim for doing switch, I've done lots and lots. If you look at my YouTube, I've done lots of crazy wiring, inventing stuff and all that. Trying to keep it simple to use is the trick, I think. And this really, I'm going to iterate again. All it really is, it's just a strat. If you've got this wee mini switch in the middle, if you pull it back, it's got humbuckers, and if you push it forward, it's hum cancelling. So that's not too bad to explain how to use it. I hope. I'll stick in a wee rhythm track. What I think we'll do is I'll use one of the very phasey sounds to make a sort of acoustic-y type thing. It's also good to, it means I'm putting a quiet track in the back, so I can now play solos over that are much louder because the guitar in a louder mode. Playing in C, I never played in C. position. So that was hum cancelling mode. Now we're in the normal strat mode. Humbucker. Playing C. So the bent, obviously, humbucker is more for your rocks on a stick on. Bit of distortion. This is the US June pedal. Here it is. Here's the bridge pickup in single coil mode. Humbucker. Neck humbucker. I suppose we might as well phase it while we're here. Rip out the turbo off. One more sound, go for the neck in hum cancelling mode. Yeah, so really the only mistake there was I was using the wrong setting at one point, and I put a backing track in C. I ain't no piano player. Yeah, so basically faultless guitar. Fantastic. I'm actually going to do a video I think this afternoon comparing this with my Fender, because there was actually a bit of a difference. I did a similar thing when I was trying out a wee 10 watt cheapy practice amp. Incidentally, there is options of getting a 10 watt cheapy practice amp flung in with this for the right trade, and various other things I could probably do some sort of deal with. A free t-shirt maybe. Yeah, so I'm playing through this amp, which is it's not a pro level amp. It's a valve amp though. There's less difference, I think, between this and the Fender, and basically the Fender, one of those pickups is worth more than what I'm selling this guitar for. It was more obvious with the smaller amp. That might have been in my head though. I mean, to me this sounds fantastic. I mean, I definitely think maybe you might tell the difference between like something like the Fender, this £1,000 guitar, and this if you play the Fender and then immediately pick up this one, plug it into the same amp, then you could probably go, okay, the Fender. I mean, it doesn't sound, wow, it's so much better. It sounds a bit better, yeah. Whereas I think if you played the Fender and then had lunch and then came back and played this, I don't even be able to tell the difference. It's not like a pure, or waited 5 minutes. It's not a huge difference, and this is doing all the Strat sounds. Just the 5 sounds. I'm ignoring the 20 extra sounds this does and the extra filter it's got. But for recording, this must be fantastic. I mean, if you're sitting there, if you've only got one guitar, this is the one you want. You know, it's like it'll do everything, and it'll cut through a mix. If you're in a guitar band, it's got like, say you're in Leonard Skinner or something like that, this is going to cut through the mix because no other guitars can do the sounds that this one does. So you've got a guy with a Strat, you've got a guy with a Les Paul. What are you going to do? And it's like, well, you can just go for one of the mad phasey things and you will cut through the mix. You will be able to make a sound that a guy with a Strat and a guy with a Les Paul just can't do no matter what. And I think especially, I do have a big pile of pedals there, but I don't really use them very much. I've really only ever got one on. They're just wired in case I ever fancy it, but they don't get turned on. I just generally just kind of use a distortion pedal and a fuzz pedal. Also a possibility, I was playing through an amp yesterday. I'm trying to make this video short because it's not meant for my usual YouTube channel, it's just for Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace, which I'm just about to put this on. I actually started putting the advert up and then realised I'd either deleted or forgotten to do a video for it. So this is a video for it. Hopefully it's 17 minutes, it was meant to be a 5-minute, and I really skipped over the 25 sounds that it does just to try and get them out there. So anyone's interested in some sort of trade, maybe looking for something that maybe needs a little bit of work done to it, if the electrics don't work, so it's a little bit cheaper, so I can get like a more interesting guitar, and generally things that are more interesting. More electric guitars and basses, I don't really know enough about acoustics really, or like amps and pedals, possibly, but I really don't know. I'm really not that into pedals, even though I've got a big pile of them, and I'm obviously a pedal guy, sort of, but really, maybe fuzz pedal? No, I don't want any more fuzz pedals. I've got like 4, and it's basically, I might as well just have one. I just have them all set at different volumes. You know, so it's like if I could be bothered actually adjusting the knobs on them, I could probably just use one. But as I was saying there, yes, I was playing through an Epiphone Valve Junior yesterday, which has got one knob. It's just got a volume control. So with that and this, that would make a huge difference to a one knob amp, where you've just got so much you can do with the guitar. So many sounds. And also using tons of effects with all the really thin phasey sounds. I bet you could get some mad stuff going on. Anyway, I managed to, my 5-minute video turned into be, at least it's less than 20. So rock on. This is on Facebook Marketplace and on Gumtree. Socially distant, locally pick up. Would like to swap for something, but will pay cash and then just buy something instead if it comes down to it. But as I said, there's no issues. Oh, I'll leave that. I stuck that M sticker on from a can of Monster I had yesterday. That'll peel off really easy because it's only been on for a day. Yeah, but if you're looking at a beginner's guitar, it would be a really, really good beginner's guitar. But you just, as I said, if you put this switch in the middle and ignore it, it's just a Strat, that's fine. But the thing which you always get with Strats, my first guitar was a Strat. If you've got a Strat and you're into like Black Sabbath and stuff like that, Strats not really, you know, the sort of thin, Hank Marvin-y clean sounds are not really what you're after. So, but if you've got, because this has got the humbucker in it, it does do a bit more of the rock sound. You know, Iron Maiden use Strats with humbuckers in it, so you're kind of getting that sort of vibe going on. Just to prove it. Go for that fuzz pedal. Sorry, bridge humbucker. See, it does that an awful lot better than a stock one of these does. But if you're not, if this is well into the future and you're looking at picking up a nice fancy, maybe you got a Strat or something like that, have a look for an Encore that looks like this one, because they're really good. It's just doesn't. It's fine. I mean, it's like, is it better than the basic Fenders? Probably. The basic Scryers. Again, Encore, I always rab on at this. The badge doesn't necessarily mean anything, because these companies, you know, none of these companies, okay, Fender, well, they don't actually make Squires. They just contract a factory in China or Indonesia or Korea to make their guitars, and then they get the Fender badge put on them. This is exactly the same. So this is probably Korean. There's no sign of a serial number on it, but they don't. So maybe Encore one year bought them from this factory and they bought these guitars, and then the following year they found somewhere they could get them cheaper, a cheaper Stratocaster, and those ones might not be as good because it might be a completely different country, all different woods, all different parts, just the same badge on it and a rough outline. But this one, good, will not be disappointed. Rock on.